Good morning, everybody. Or if you're not a morning person, morning, maybe. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK, and on this channel in the morning, we look at the new releases of this week. And yesterday we looked at mysteries, and today we'll look at romances and maybe some sci-fi fantasy because I think both are kind of not a lot of them are being released this week. I kind of did a little sneak peek. I didn't look too in depth, so reactions will be honest, fresh. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. Hard to believe it's the middle of August already. I know it's the 15th. That's crazy. Kids here have already gone back to school. Dog days of August. I think I don't have kids, but I think I heard that they go back to school here in Billings next week. So get those kids off the streets. Get off my lawn. All right, let's hop in here. Let's look at romance. Here we are. Okay, do you have your coffee? Have your notepad or laptop open so you can check these out? Let's look at these. First one, Codename Charming by Lucy Parker. Petunia DeVere enjoys being the personal assistant to lovable, bumbling Johnny Marchemont. But the job has its share of challenges, including the royal's giant, intimidating bodyguard, Matthias. Pet and Matthias are polar opposites. She's spontaneous and enthusiastic. He's rigid and stoic, but she can sense there's something softer underneath that tough exterior, so he's a marshmallow. For Matthias Vaughn, protecting others is the name of the game, but keeping his royal charge out of trouble is more difficult than he imagined because everywhere Johnny goes, calamity ensues, and his petite, bubbly assistant is often caught in the fray. Matthias hates the idea of Pet getting hurt, and he's determined to keep everyone safe, even if it means clashing with his adorable new coworker. When a clumsy moment leads to a questionable tabloid photo, the press begins to speculate that Pet is romantically involved with Johnny. To put an end to the rumors, the royal PR team asks Pet and Matthias to stage a fake relationship, and the two reluctantly agree. But as they spend more time together outside of work, they begin to wonder what real emotions this pretend connection might uncover, especially when a passionate kiss leaves both their heads spinning. Sounds sweet. Codename Charming. New Adult by Timothy Janowski. This looks LGBT-ish from the cover, we'll find out. Nolan Baker wants it all by the time he's 30. Too bad he's single, barely able to cover his own expenses, and still paying his dues at a prominent NYC comedy club. When an invitation for his sister's engagement party arrives, Nolan takes it as a wake-up call. It's time to quit comedy and make good on his practical dreams. Most importantly, asking Drew Tetchler, his childhood best friend, to be his date. But right as Nolan is about to give it all up, he's asked to fill a last-minute spot for a famous comedian. Score! He crushes his set, but stands Drew up, misses his sister's big day, and disappoints his entire family. After major blowouts with everyone he loves, Nolan desperately wishes on a set of gag gift magical healing crystals to just skip to the good part of life. When he wakes the next morning, it's 7 years later. He's a 29-year-old successful comedian, and he has everything he thought he wanted. Everything, that is, except his friends and family, none of whom are taking his future self's calls. With nowhere else to turn, Nolan sets out to find the only person he trusts to help him. Except Drew is all grown up now, too. He's hot, successful, and hates Nolan's guts. As Nolan works to get back to his younger self and the life he so carelessly threw away, he finds himself working to regain Drew's trust, friendship, and maybe ultimately his heart. Rent to Be by Sonia Hartle. In this bright, laugh-out-loud rom-com, the grind of the millennial struggle is a lot more fun when you add falling in love to the mix, perfect for fans of Tessa Bailey and Beth O'Leary. Isla Jane is living the millennial nightmare. She's got a shiny new MBA and no way to pay for it thanks to her dead end entry level job, and nowhere to live thanks to her miserable salary. You've lost me already. Going home to her parents is not possible, but for once, Isla's brother may be her saving grace. He's out of town on business for a month, meaning the guest room in his condo is blissfully empty, or so Isla thinks, until she runs into Cade Greenlee, her brother's best friend, who's crashing there while his own condo is undergoing renovations. When a desperate plan to sleep under her desk miraculously turns into a house sitting job for one of the big bosses at her office, Isla is certain her luck has turned, with no one, Cade included, the wiser. It's a perfect solution until Cade catches her sunbathing at a mansion that is definitely not hers, and she admits she's house sitting because she can't afford rent. The pair strike a deal. Cade will keep Isla's secret from her overbearing parents if she agrees to pose as his girlfriend at a few upcoming corporate events. The fun and friendly vibe of his office is a surprise compared to hers, but the biggest shock is that each date with Cade feels less and less fake. Suddenly, she's looking forward to every minute they spend together while the chemistry between them sizzles. At Isla's house sitting Isla's house sitting scheme begins to unravel, she'll have to face the fact that her biggest lie of all is the one she's telling herself, that she's not falling in love with Cade. These are not for me, but they're for somebody. The Book of Silver Linings by Nan Fisher. A time-worn book opens up the past for one woman in this gripping exploration of love, fate, and independence from the acclaimed author of Some of It Was Real. Constance Sparks always says yes when her capricious best friend needs money, when her boss gives her more responsibility without a raise, and when her boyfriend Hayden, who is very kind but also secretive, asks her to marry him. Okay. While planning their wedding and struggling with anxiety about the right course for her future, Constance researches the history of her antique engagement ring and unearths the name of a man who might be connected to it, plus his tragic love story. When she finds a book of letters in her library's old manuscript section written by the long dead man, Constance is deeply touched by his words and leaves a note for him confessing her uncertainty and doubts. She's shocked days. I'm having problems with S's. Days later to find a response tucked among the pages. As the notes continue to arrive, Constance finds herself quickly falling in love with a ghost and putting her real life relationship in jeopardy. Will a bond based on letters and possibly sent from the past derail her future? Or will Constance discover her voice and risk everything for the chance to somehow connect to her true soulmate? I'm getting the feeling I'm aging out of these kinds of romances. Oh, passionate kisses sound like fun. Well, yeah, indeed. The Witch is Back by Sophie H. Morgan. Bewitched, Bothered, and Betrothed. Don't miss this magical novel by blah. Love is a hex of a thing. There's nothing wrong with being a wallflower, not to Emmeline Bluewater anyway. Emma may have been born into witch society, but her days of trying to fit in where she doesn't belong are over. They ended 6 years ago when the man she hoped to marry left town without a word. She's much happier now, living a delightfully mundane human life in Chicago and running her bar Toil and Trouble until Bastian Truenote walks through the door and announces that he wants her back. Bastian had his reasons for leaving, even if he can't tell Emma what they are. Now, to win Emma's heart, she's got to face down an adorably goofy dog familiar, a best friend who's all too eager to hit him with a carefully aimed hex, and a woman who's far from the meek witch he remembers. Magical contracts aren't easily broken, but as far as Emma's concerned, not even a marriage of convenience will have her falling under Bastion's spell again. Dot, 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 dot. Hi, Jen. You had a few minutes to watch you in real time. Excellent. I hope you have a great day too. I appreciate you stopping by. Maria says, funny you should say that. I was thinking the same thing. None sound interesting. Maybe historical romances are the only way. Yeah. And Jen says, morning, Mary. Hey, Storm. Hello. Thanks for popping in. Getting ready to take my walk and remembered to pop in and say hi. I appreciate that. We are looking at romances right now that are coming out this week. And then we'll probably jump back over into cozy mysteries because we're on the last one of the lot here. Tilly in Technicolor by Maisie Eddings. Maisie Eddings' sparkling YA debut about two neurodivergent teens who form a connection over the course of summer. Tilly Twomley is desperate for change. White knuckling her way through high school with flawed executive functioning has left her burnt out and ready to start fresh. Working as an intern for her perfect older sister's startup isn't exactly how Tilly wants to spend her summer, but the required travel around Europe promises a much needed change of scenery as she plans for her future. The problem is, Tilly has no idea what she wants. Oliver Clark knows exactly what he wants. His autism has often made it hard for him to form relationships with others, but his love of color theory and design allows him to feel deeply connected to the world around him. Plus, he has everything he needs: a best friend that gets him, placement into a prestigious design program, and a summer internship to build his resume. Everything is going as planned. That is, of course, until he suffers through the most disastrous international flight of his life, all turmoil stemming from lively and exasperating Tilly. Oliver is forced to spend the summer with a girl that couldn't be more his opposite. Feeling things for her he can't quite name, and starts to wonder if maybe he doesn't have everything figured out after all. As the duo's neurodiverse connection grows, they learn that some of the best parts of life can't be planned and are forced to figure out what that means as their disastrously wonderful summer comes to an end. And according to Book Riot, those are the romances that are coming out this week. I Let's do a quick pop in. Nope, no sci-fi this week. Let's double check in fantasy. I think there was one couple of middle grade storm you'd be interested in. There's Ghost Book by Remy Lai, it looks like, and Nell and the Nether Beast by Addie Rule. Then there's Thorn Hedge by T. Kingfisher. It looks like this is a novella. There's a princess trapped in a tower. This isn't her story. Meet Toadling. On the day of her birth, she was stolen from her family by the fairies, but she grew up safe and loved in the warm waters of fairyland. Once an adult, though, the Fae ask a favor of Toadling: return to the human world and offer a blessing of protection to a newborn child. Simple, right? But nothing with fairies is ever simple. Centuries later, a knight approaches a towering wall of brambles where the thorns are as thick as your arm and as sharp as swords. He's heard there's a curse here that needs breaking, but it's a curse Toadling will do anything to uphold. That sounds sweet. All right. Done with this page. Let's go back to Gozies. But coffee is required, just a minute. All right. We did the Viking Witch one. I think we're on this one. Witches, Bridges, and Premonitions by Scarlett Moss. It looks like an M there. Yes. Third in the Paisley Island Cozy Mysteries. When premonitions clash with pandemonium, will Phoebe's magic save the day or just ruffle a few more supernatural feathers? Juggling her newfound magic and island life, Phoebe Ellis is just getting comfortable in her new life. What was she thinking? Her latest challenge isn't finishing the next book as she thought, but a murder on the island's bridge. In the future, no less. Can the Hadley witches outwit fate and save the victim, a sneaky reporter, before her latest article becomes a deadly expose? In the midst of no less chaos than you'd expect at a supernatural convention, the island spirals into a storm of misplaced manuscript, accusations of theft, and a hurricane that traps everyone faster than a binding spell. With a potential killer lurking and all electronics eerily kaput, it's a race against the clock in a time that isn't theirs. Can the witches bridge the gap between the present and the future, or will they be the next victims of this magical menace? You notice they started with a question and they ended with a question. Well, kind of started. Definitely going into Halloween. Mayhem in the Mountains by Kelly Oliver. A Fiona Figg and Kitty Lane, number 3. This is a Kindle Unlimited. 1918 Italy. When a deadly blizzard traps Fiona Figg and Kitty Lane in the Dolomite Mountains, it's all downhill from here. Their hotel is snowed in and no one can get in or out. Then a man is found dead in his locked hotel room, and the killer is still on the premises. But with no murder weapon and too many suspects, their investigation is treading on thin ice. colder it gets outside, the hotter it gets inside as Fiona squares off with both her beloved Archie and her nemesis Fredericks. With her love life on a slippery slope, Fiona risks everything in one bold move. As fast and twisty as a downhill slalom, this slick little cozy from Kelly Oliver will have you melting into a puddle of laughter. Snap in and enjoy the ride. See, they had to throw in some puns there. And I just realized that I left my phone on the charger, so we're gonna when time is up, we're gonna hear the bells go and go. Sorry about that. All right, Deadly Manor by Kate Parker. We're gonna close some tabs here because I'm gonna start getting confused. Which side am I on for the cozies? For the cozies, I'm on cozymystery.com. For the others, that one is bookriot.com. And then I also, here, I'll share that one. This one lets you filter the different things that we are interested in looking at each week. And then another one that I go to is freshfiction.com. But this one with the cozies on it is cozymystery.com. Somebody got the good domain name. So Deadly Manor by Kate Parker. Surrounded by war, stalked by murder, can she stay alive? October 1940. Livy Redmond is thrilled to receive an invitation to a country house party away from the Blitz. There she hopes to help her husband overcome his injuries from fighting in France. But excitement turns to horror when she stumbles across two members of the house party murdered. Indebted to her hostess, Livy attempts to catch the killer. No one is who they seem, and the party goers leave her with more questions than answers. Somewhere close, the killer waits in the shadows to stop her. And it's 10th in the new series. I like the cover. Reap Your Souls by Claire Robbins. Shadowvale Witches #2. Oh, sorry. Itchy nose. Oops. Sorry. Didn't mean to leave you up. Reap Your Souls by Claire Robbins. Welcome to the Shadow Vale, where the locals bite, monsters are real, and witches play fast and loose with the rules. Kristen is on a magical treasure hunt to find her ex-husband's body. She needs to put both the man and his ghost to rest. When she stumbles upon a husk beneath the burnt-out ruins of the Jelly Roger, she thinks the dead witch may hold all the clues. And he does, just not necessarily the clues she's looking for. Before she can say boo, Kristen finds herself drawn into a different kind of treasure hunt involving the ramshackle inn's notorious history. But does X mark the spot of Captain Halftooth's secrets or an unsolved modern day crime? If you like your cozy mysteries fun. Oh, here's another one. Double Trouble, Royal Trouble. Double Royal Trouble. Magical Renaissance Fair. #9. By Trixie Silvertail. She was probably not named that when she was born. When a treat peddling witch is found dead, will this cursed fair crumble? Coriander the Conjurer is queen of the fairy realm, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to her, even if she's technically trapped within the kingdom's walls. Now, this fairy fortune teller hopes to tackle the confining curse that suspended Albion in time for centuries. Unfortunately, her magical mission derails when someone burns a gingerbread house to the ground. Finding herself in a cauldron of trouble, Coriander must summon the help of a wily vampire, a brilliant blacksmith, and her meddling toad familiar to uncover the hidden killer. But she's running into more alibis than allies as suspicions threaten to bubble over. Can Coriander crack the curse and corner the killer, or will the fair become her final resting place? You gotta read it to find out. Dollars or Death by Becky Willis. The Sisters Texas Mystery Series. Interesting cover. A popular TV game show is filmed in the Sisters, and everyone wants their chance to win instant cash on dollars or death. The final rounds are called sudden death, but for one unlucky player, it's not just sudden, it's final. That's not the only chaos taking place in Cordova's life. In a pinch, professional services is temping at 3G Fun Station in Riverton, and someone isn't playing by the rules. There are eerie similarities to a previous crime ring operating here in the Sisters, but Madison knows that's crazy. Evil can't squeeze past the steel bars of a prison, can it? Completing the three-ring circus is a feud between Councilman Reggie Carr and the sisters' ever-popular bunco games. Granny Burt and Wanda Shanks are leading the fight to push back. Along with Darren, the aging women sign up as contestants for dollars or death, which is chaos within itself. It's hardly fun and games when a disturbing link is discovered between all three dramas. It's downright murder. And that sounds rather cute. All right. Those are the ones that were released today, Tuesday. We've got a couple that they're saying are being released tomorrow. Spell It Out by Josie Avari, Kindle Unlimited. The words are the real magic. Sure, you can visit the Spice Witch for the freshest wolfsbane. You can visit the Water Witch for the foulest bog water. You can visit the Stone Witch for the smoothest obsidian or the hardest granite, but if you don't have the right word, if you don't have the words right like that, your carefully crafted spell is no better than a nursery rhyme. And that's where I come in. I'm Whimsy Charm the word witch. I'm Whimsy Charm, the word witch. Not a word witch. The word witch. Okay. It's too early. The only way that anybody I knows of. Oh my goodness. Come to me if you need your spell spiffed up. If you need words with more magnificent magic. Patience Comely came to me, and I helped her out with her housewarming spell. This was just going to be my nemesis today. But when later that day she met a rather untimely end, I was whisked into a murder investigation that would reveal a web of secrets shrouding our ordinary little town. That Now that one's saying September 15th. This one snuck in. How dare they put it under August? Well, now we got to be super careful. Crime at the Cabana by Nicolette Pierce. Are you going to lie to us? Nope, says tomorrow. Crime at the Cabana. I love that. Oh, and we're out of time. We will get back to that one tomorrow. And like I mentioned, I'm sorry I left my phone on the charger, and so that little ice cream sound is going to keep going until we're done. I apologize. But I hope you guys got some ideas here. Storm, somebody went on my TBR. I don't know. Last week I got two from what we were looking at and looked. No, I did. I did get one from yesterday. I did get that Viking witch one from yesterday. I'm Norwegian. I had to check it out. Mistakenly, that's how. Yeah. Thank you. So I appreciate you guys stopping by this morning, or if you're gonna watch it later on replay. That's what we do. We just look at the new releases to see what we can do to add to our TBRs, what's out there, because you don't know what's out there until you look at it all. Tomorrow we'll look at straight fiction. Yes, no, sci-fi, fantasy, and some straight fiction. Bye, Storm. Appreciate you coming by. I hope you guys have a gorgeous day, and you're reading good things. Tonight we're doing sprints at 6:05 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. And if you want to come for a couple hours and either read your book, do work on your hobby, or even meditate, that's fine too. Hope everyone has a good day and see you tonight. All righty. Thank you guys so much. And tomorrow we'll be here again at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. And have a good, blessed day. Bye.